Football time! Hey guys, don't know if you've seen the news. This week ESL's been making everyone go cuckoo. I've got my expert panel of one. My mate Tom. Hi guys, I'm Tom.
Of course, with myself, who supported one of the top six teams, who themselves were probably the ones to back out first. There's plenty of rumours around it, but we can get into that now. And Tom, from an outsider perspective, can discuss what he thought of the whole matter. So here we are, me and Tom. How you doing, Tom?
I'm alright.
What are we thinking since the last time we met with the whole England 11 and how it's developed in the last month?
A lot of the players I put in the team have now gotten injured. Craig Dawson's gone to shit. He scored an own goal and gotten sent off.
Yeah, he did actually. That was ridiculous. Every time I see Dawson do something notable, I'm texting Tom. Literally every time.
It's never good anymore. It's all awful. Chris Smalling's hurt himself again. He's out the squad, fuming. Yeah. Oh, James Madison went to a party, made me look like a fool.
It's gone it's ridiculous. And do you know what? Funnily enough, someone who we left out of the team, and even the latter squad, who was Foden, seems to be the one guy who literally seems like he'll be in the starting 11 now. So our predictions haven't gone to plan, really. But yeah, that's another matter. We'll come back to that subject in the future when Shane joins us again. Today we're going to be talking about the ESL. Obviously, like I said, its birth and its rise and its fall happened within 2 days. Unsurprisingly.
Afterwards, we're going to be discussing how the Large Hadron Collider could kill us all. You'll need to be terrified of it.
Yeah, within 2 days, just like the life and end of the ESL. Okay, so really, when it comes down to it, the European Super League was destined to fail from the start. Obviously, everyone knows it was purely for the money. As a supporter of a team from the top six, supporting Chelsea has always, in my lifetime, been full of money. So I don't really know it to an extent before the money was introduced.
Not a big Pat Nevin fan.
I'm a Pat Nevin fan. He's a beast.
Oh, you're a big Pat Nevin fan.
But like from when I was of age to remember watching football, realistically, I came into it when the money came into it, I suppose, when I was like 2003, 2004. And that's pretty much when Abramovich came to the club. So of a young man in my age, I've always known money. However, for the clubs to become that greedy, they've been talking about this for literally 2 decades, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Perez started the plans 20 years ago, apparently.
There you go, exactly. Perez, so with them having the idea 20 years ago, it's always been in the pipeline. These fuckers have always had their fingers on the buttons ready for this shit. But I suppose the big talking point is that to do it during a time when obviously the clubs are struggling financially, or some of the clubs. I know Chelsea themselves probably aren't struggling financially, but a lot of the clubs are probably struggling financially. And I think that's part of the reasoning why they did it. However, the point is, if they're struggling financially, so are the people. And so to do it during a time when the people are also struggling, when these guys have millions in their pockets already, they might be struggling. But to do it to the fans who go there week in, week out.
It was prioritising abroad, overseas fans compared to the actual fans who pay the big money to go and see every game each week.
Exactly.
I mean, people in, say, you could look in Asia, maybe they're paying, 30 quid a month to get a pass to watch the Premier League. Yeah. And that's it. And it was just completely, and over in America, it's probably the same 30 quid, you get NBC Sports, you can watch any Premier League game you want. And they sucked up to that lot because they saw it as money, and they just completely disregarded what they called the legacy fans, who are the actual fans that fill the stadium, make football what it is, really. It's disgusting. I solely believe it was due to a competition point. I think that over the next few years, there isn't going to be a big six. I think it's going to be changing. I don't think we'll see those 6 teams is like 1 to 6 in the Premier League for at least 10 years now. I think other teams are catching up with them, and I think they've seen that, and they thought, you know what, if we're not going to be making European football every season, we'll just make our own competition and we'll play in that.
In terms of that, the game is going to be so more open because everyone's going to be on a more of 11 players.
I think it's going that way. I think they'll, like, Liverpool ran away with it last season. You'll occasionally get teams like that that will just run away with it in the season. But I don't think the top 6 will ever be miles ahead of the rest ever again. I don't think you'll have it like in the noughties when you had the big 4. They were just fully dominating every year. We won't see that again. You've got teams like Wolves, Southampton now, Everton, Leicester, West Ham even.
Yeah,
Leeds.
to be
there
fair,
are so many teams that could easily push into like a European spot. And I think that's the issue that a lot of the owners had. They didn't like the fact that teams were going to knock them out. And yeah, also, I really don't want anyone to like suck up to owners. I've been seeing a lot of people who are like, "Congrats, Chelsea! Yeah, we did a great job. We did a great job." You didn't. Like, Abramovich isn't a hero for pulling out of something because everyone told him to pull out of it.
Exactly. They keep like, I'm watching a lot of like, I don't know, Chelsea fan TV or whatever you call it, Chelsea YouTube, who seem to like congratulate the fact that they've pulled out and start to use the excuse that, oh, Abramovich was like late in signing up to the whole matter, so he was like forced into that. He was forced a hand, and now he's jumped out early. So like, let's congratulate him. But realistically, Abramovich just saw it as a way to solidify his money for the next however long, and the idea of someone who probably out of all of them is probably in a better financial situation, him and the lads at City, I would say, probably in a better financial situation than definitely the Spanish boys, who are like a billion in debt or something like that.
Yeah, Barcelona. Well, they had the bailiffs over the other day, didn't they? Stealing Messi's boots.
No, yeah, literally. No, I've heard like Real and Barca are in debt, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this would have killed off their debt in one.
Exactly. So it's completely understandable why they've done it. But the fact that Perez is still arguing the point now, the best thing for all of them to do is to admit that they were wrong, which I'm pretty sure like the Liverpool boss has come out today.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
All of the apologies that...
It's like a YouTube apology. It's literally like a Logan Paul. They sit in front of the camera.
I'm sorry for going to a forest where Japanese people hang
It's
themselves.
always about the money, and you have to say sorry because they go too far in search of the money. Logan Paul was the same. The fucking bosses of the Super League are the same.
In Logan Paul, he went off and did stupid shit again.
Yeah.
And in every single apology, they never ruled out that they wouldn't do it again. They were always like, we still think the UCL's stupid, and we're going to continue to search for other alternatives. They said that in all of the team statements, which is very worrying. They need to punch them hard. Yeah,
so that's moving on to the point. Do you think they should be punished, I guess?
Yeah.
In what way? In what way?
Points deduction and transfer ban for a year. I think they shouldn't be able to make transfers till next June.
Transfer ban, I probably would agree with.
Points deduction as well.
You think points deduction this season? This season?
100%. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it hurt the fans." Well, it hurt the fans when Bolton got a deduction. It hurt the fans in Sheffield Wednesday when they got a deduction when they broke rules. Like,
okay,
it's just people like I'm not. I know you're a Big Six fan, but
no, yeah, that's the problem with me. Obviously, I'm going to be a bit salty about it.
Entitlement with it. You're like, "Oh, I could. Nothing bad should ever happen to our team."
No, and do you know what? Regardless of whether I support it or not, a points deduction is fair. Like, I'm not going to lie. And the point is that in a season like everyone is having at the moment, where it is quite open for a lot of teams, a points deduction would be the fairest way of doing it. And I think a transfer ban 100%, because that's the only way to suffocate these teams and like make them realise it's just because you've got the money doesn't mean you can like throw your weight around. But yeah, what are we talking? Points deduction. What are you thinking? How does that work?
I don't think it should be anything horrific.
What, 6 points? 2 games?
More than that. I'm looking between 10 and 15.
Fucking hell.
Between 10 and 15. But well, that's like the amount teams get for going into administration.
Yeah.
And that's the owner's fault, isn't it? That's never the fault of the fans or the players.
I suppose
that's
so.
The owners. If you're going to punish owners for what they've done, then it should sort of be the same all round.
Do you know what's hilarious about that? 15 points would probably take Arsenal into relegation.
Let's have a look.
Have a look. So we're saying 15 points.
Oh Christ! They'd be in the relegation zone. They'd be quite deep. They'd be in 29 points. They'd be a point above Fulham. And 4 behind Burnley. They'd be in a scrap.
That would be fucking hilarious. I mean, personally, as a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't mind. Like,
you'd be down on 40. You'd be behind Wolves.
To be honest, it wouldn't really matter because all of the top 6 are pretty much in the top 6. So it would probably.
I don't know. Spurs have dropped down pretty. Oh yeah.
No, Spurs caught up the other day, so.
They'd still be down. They'd still be down there. They'd be on about 38. They'd be around Palace.
It's Arsenal who would suffer the most.
Arsenal would be fucked.
People at Arsenal Fan TV will be fuming.
City would still be second. City would still be top with a 15-point deduction.
Yeah, City would be top.
They'd be top by a bit. They'd still be ahead of Leicester by 5 points.
Anyway, the point is, yeah, they probably should suffer the consequences because it is pretty bang out of order. They've done it regardless of what other people think. They've built these contracts up over the space of probably a decade, to be honest.
Yeah, and there wasn't a single kind of taken a small group and done a survey. Would you like this? They've not asked anyone about it. And they were just like, yeah, this will make us money. Let's do it.
It's all about the money. No one likes that because it's the people's game, and there's no excusing it.
Well, I mean, the Americans would.
No,
they would have made football in Europe American, essentially.
Yeah. That's what they're saying, isn't it? That there's no one would get relegated. It's purely based on moving the teams around the world. So Manchester City wouldn't be Manchester City. It would be it would go from the European Super League to the World Super League, and then it would become some intergalactic shit.
Gazprom United.
Exactly. There you go.
Up the lads.
It'd be Apple. I don't know. Apple City versus Gazprom United.
Oh, the boys.
The fucking come on, Gazprom! And it would be all American chants. It'd be like, fight and win, Gazprom United. Right, okay, but yeah, the point, the funny things to take out of that is that Arsenal would be in a relegation battle, given the points deduction, and a lot of people arguing, why is Arsenal in it, bruv? They're not even top 6, fam.
Yeah, I did. I wanted to look into this to sort of make a point, and then I found out my point was completely wrong. I was looking at the Premier League seasons from the last 5 years, and I was hoping that for the last 5 years it would never have been the big 6 as the top 6, so I could prove the point. But actually, to be fair, if they were going to pick a big 6 teams in England over the last 5 years,
it would be them.
Probably would be the big 6.
Yeah, you'd like to say Arsenal have been shit for the last 10 years, but they haven't. They were second a few seasons ago. With Sanchez in the team, they were second, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they were. So yeah, the only time in the last 5 years was last season when who snuck in? Leicester snuck in at 5th. And then barring that, it's been the top 6 finishing in the top 6.
So yeah, Leicester have put their foot in it basically in the last few years, but other than that, it's purely been the top 6. So there's no arguing that, is there? But I think the point that we're making is that it is ridiculous. There's no excusing it. It's all purely money based. But yeah, let's move on from that, I think. People have fucking driven the point into the ground, so there's no more we can do.